Namaste and welcome to Wise Out Career Guide. Today we have Ms. Deeksha Awasthi with us, who started her career in engineering, a very technical background. From there, she moved on to being a consultant and then a coach, a mentor, and a spiritual healer. Let's understand from her what is her journey been like. Welcome, Deeksha.
Thank you so much, Neha. Thank you so much for having me today on your platform. It's my pleasure to be here and sharing my experiences. I'm hoping that it will help some listeners here.
So, Deeksha, before we get into your career journey, what has been your educational background?
So I did my graduation from IIT Kanpur in biological sciences and bioengineering with specialization in crystallography and structural biology. That's my education background.
So, from there, what has been the journey for you to reach into spiritual healing and mentoring?
Yeah, most of it was not planned. So I started as a clinical genomic scientist. Then I was moved by some of the incidences which happened during my journey as a scientist in a rare inherited disorders. I was a specialist of rare inherited disorders, basically the diseases which pass on through generations. And I saw the misery there, and I realized that Indian healthcare system needs little bit more of tweaking, little bit more of bridging between engineers and doctors. And that is where I moved out of my core job and entered into management consultant roles with hospital consulting organizations, and worked in different rural areas, different rural setups, different tools and projects I took up during that time, working from Nagaland to Dimapur, Gujarat, Kerala, all over the places, and I was really satisfied with what I was doing. But suddenly, out of nowhere, 2020 appeared, and this Akashic reading data was given to me. It's as a grace, I would say it was given. And as a scientist, I resisted and I doubted, but then it was so strong that I had to pay attention. And the moment I started paying attention, the moment I started looking at the evidences became stronger and stronger every passing event. So now I have a lot of case studies where I can very confidently say that I don't understand the science behind, but then there's definitely something super science acting here. Otherwise, there's no way that I know what a stranger's father in his past life has done, right? I have no way to access that. But I am able to access that. I am still yet looking for evidences, but that is happening. And because of that, because the evidences were so strong that I was pulled into it. Then that is where I created a lot of programs so that people can learn through more scientific evidences into chakra healing and Akashic reading, okay, and mental health as well.
So, Deeksha, you just mentioned about mental health. In our education system, there is a lot of pressure, the minute the child comes into the 10th standard, saying now what you decide for your 11th, 12th, your graduation is what is going to make or break your life. What are your views on that?
Yeah, actually, much before 10th standard itself, the pressure starts building up. I think 7th, 8th standard itself, parents start becoming paranoid about it. And see, giving direction is always good. So pressure is not always bad. That's all I want to say, that pressure is not bad, but giving direction is good. But then pressurizing it in a way that child loses his self-esteem in the process, or the desire to study, or that zeal to learn, because learning is something very important which stays with you throughout your life. If you're not able
Absolutely.
to learn, then it's a problem. So you have to really sit with your child. I would say that you should sit with your child and explain why he or she should study, why it is important for them to understand the basic concepts so that they can use throughout their life. If we can explain that way, it becomes easier. Then science becomes fun. But if you force, then it becomes a burden, right? And everybody these days, I mean, I'm sure the parents are now becoming little bit more relaxed about not only being doctor and engineer, but otherwise during our times it was only doctor and engineer. Everybody was becoming that. So it becomes very difficult. I mean, I really feel, if you ask me my personal experience with my child, I am not at all pressurizing him. But I am giving him direction. Every day I give him direction that why these concepts are going to be helpful for rest of your life. So it's better that you understand this early on itself. and keep using it, integrating it into your daily life. That way,
Absolutely.
tomorrow, whatever he wants to do, he will be able to apply these things, and he will not lose that appetite to learn or to study, because 10th, I think, is very easy. 11th, 12th is still okay. Engineering is very tough. And then masters are even, it's like gearing up the things, right? And the child becomes so tired of already, because they just look for one opportunity. 12th done, I got into engineering college, now everything is fine. No, that is where the real challenge starts, because the education in engineering is much more complex. If a child is not able to deal with that complexity of education, they can't survive, right? That is when they fail. That is when they have this mental health issues. That is when suicide things come in picture. All that lagging things come in picture. So I would like to really urge parents that empower your child and pace it out. You know the journeys, so you pace it out in such a way that it's not overwhelming. At the same time, the pressure is optimal built, because so much of distraction. We can't leave the children just like that as well, because they have no time to study. They have everything else to do, right? In whole day, we had no distraction, so we were like, "Acha, chalo, we will study also." But here, so much is happening that kid will not study. So I would say, keep your own why very clear. Keep your child's why very clear. Why he wants to do this, whatever he is doing. I think that's where the key is, and that's will be very helpful for children as well.
Okay. So, Deeksha, was it difficult for you to move from your engineering lab work into consulting? Wasn't there any pressure on you about, leaving after studying so much, doing so much of work, and then just switching out of that zone?
Yeah, it was little bit of conflict. Inner conflict always comes, whether should I do this, should I not do this. But the calling was very strong, and as I said, I was always driven by higher powers. So I always go with the flow. So if today I have been told to do this, I will do this. Tomorrow, maybe today I have whatever I'm doing, maybe 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, I will do something entirely different. And that is what I think, my appetite to learn is very high. So I can actually learn everything. So I have that appetite is very strong. So I think that is my strength as well. I can learn anything. That is what I understand, and I can do as well. So from core scientific job to suddenly into management consulting roles, where you have to really sit with CXOs, you have to really sit with, it's a whole together different gamut, right? And I was able to pick up. I would say that I was able to read case studies. I was able to do my homework, back-end homework very quickly, and then integrate it. So that is what I said in the earlier conversation, that if you understand the kid to learn, how to learn, if you make the kid understand, then anything you can learn, right? Then it's just a matter of enthusiasm that you want to learn. Okay, fine, I will learn. So tomorrow, if I have to learn some languages, I can pick those if I want to. During my grad, I was into wet lab, like doing experiments. And then suddenly I felt that I should not do experiments. I should do my computational biology, like more of a scripting and all those. I learned on my own. Perl language, I actually picked up a book and I actually learned on my own. I actually wrote my own scripts and I actually did all those. For a biologist who has never learned any of these languages, is really unknown zone. But by God's grace, I was able to pick that up, because somewhere I have understood how to learn. And that is where I quickly shift my gears. That's the key, if I have to give you.
So, Deeksha, you mentioned that, maybe 5 years down the line, there is a possibility that you might decide to do something else. So for freshers and, youngsters, when the world is changing so much and so fast, what do you suggest they do for, keeping that openness in mind and still be able to plan that, okay, if this is what I'm doing, I might not be interested, and then what?
That is true. That's a very valid question. So it is actually, people fear stagnation. People fear job loss or direction loss, or what will happen after 5 years. That is for sure. The planning is very important. But then if it's all fundamental, if you keep your why clear, why are you working? if your why is to make more money, then you will find 1,000 ways to make more money. If your why is to create impact, you will find ways to create impact, right? So why has to be clear. Stay in the right kind of groups, right? In the networking is very important in life. So I really feel it is not only for business point of view, otherwise as well, because whatever others have done, you can learn from them, right? Through those conversations, you can learn a lot. I got this confidence to switch from A to B was because of my networking. I was very active during my, as a volunteer activities. I was building a social entrepreneurship platform where we were integrating 500 plus social entrepreneurs across country and helping them through mentoring, through networking, through funding support, through exposure, so that their products are seen by government and investors. So we were organizing conferences in a span of like 3 months, 4 months in different cities. So that was giving me a lot of exposure to a lot of different kinds of things, right? So I would say exposure is very important. Wherever you are, keep exposing yourself to different kinds of things. Then you know, okay, I don't like this, but I can do this. I can do this also, like that. So that you know that you're, I did not know when I was sitting behind the computer in my lab, I did not know that I am good in conversations. I did not know, but this opportunity as a volunteer gave me exposure to my that side, where I can actually do a lot of cold calling. I realized that I can do a lot of cold calling. That's where I actually realized that I can actually be very good in building bridges between people. Otherwise, I didn't know that I can do that, because my education was only telling me to stick to my protocols, to do experiments, to do whatever has come on your table, finish it by the day. That is what we were doing. So exposure helps. I would say to youngsters, they should expose themselves. Just like they go to different pubs, they explore different social pubs and all those places. They should explore networking places as well. And one more suggestion is for everybody, they should expose themselves to social issues as well. Like they can visit to a old age home or orphanage or whatever suits them, whatever they like. We all have something in us which we really attach to. That cause is very strong within us. If they can do that now, it will give them so much perspective in their life. You will be surprised the kind of perspective you get when you actually visit these places, because it's like grounding you in your reality that, my God, life has so much more problems and miseries and troubles. We are living a very comfortable life. Can we be a little more grateful to what we have been living? And that is when peace comes. That is when a lot of understanding comes. So I would say these are the tips for youngsters who are looking for job change in say 5-10 years. They should prepare from today itself, right?
Okay. So, Deeksha, you also have your own organization now by the name of Deeksha Life. Can you share something about that?
Yes, absolutely. So Deeksha Life, as the name indicates, does not represent me. Deeksha is it happened to be my name actually, but otherwise it is more like Deeksha is initiation, spiritual initiation, right? So when you so that is how like spiritual life, Uber life. Like that, my team thought that it should be Deeksha Life, and they were very strong in saying that this is how we should be taking it forward. So that is why Deeksha Life. I just wanted to clarify that I'm not endorsing myself over here. It's just a coincidence, I would say. So here what we are doing, as the name indicates, initiation. So what we are doing is we are initiating people into different things like some people are interested because depending on their awareness level, depending on their consciousness level, some people are interested in only mental health problems. Some people are interested in understanding chakras. Some people are interested in understanding Akashic records as well. I mean, that's a very higher spiritual concept. There is the awareness level, certain awareness level you should have to understand, even comprehend what it is. So there are people who are interested, and we have tailor-made those programs. These are scientifically backed technology solutions which are tailor-made for your use. So whenever somebody comes to me, we have different kinds of programs we offer them. So to give you an overview, so like you have personal level needs. So personal level needs can be your mental health issues, your family, your relationship, your job, your money, or your own energy clearing. So that can be taken care by one program. Then another program is called Anahat, where we do chakra scanning for compatibility of two people. That can be in relationship, that can be two individuals who wants to be together, like live in or anything or whatever. I mean, when two people are living together, they have clashes because the energies do not match with each other. And that is where this compatibility test really helps them understand the partner. It is not about what is wrong with the partner. Understand why that partner is having those issues and how you both can together move the whole scenario, right? So that is another solution which we have. And third one which we are building up is for the organizations, where one is to end. So organization can be of 2 people or 20,000 people.
Okay.
But it has a basics. So it is more like a human individual. It's an individual organization. If you see as an individual, it has its own consciousness. We have been writing extensively about it. I mean, a lot of articles I have written regarding the energy leadership and how the energy of organization and the consciousness of organization can be shifted if you understand, and then you can shift that consciousness altogether. So that is a corporate offering which we have. So these two are personal offerings, and this is a corporate offering, and the courses which I shared with you that regarding mental health programs and Akashic records reading as well. So all depends on where you are in your life and what you are looking for in our domain of mental health and emotional intelligence. Basically, it is spiritual intelligence and emotional intelligence is what we are offering. So from wherever you are, and the bottom line, the core line of Deeksha Life is, when you change, people around you change. Usually what we do is we always look for others. We are either victims, somebody is troubling us, or there's a conflict with the other person. That person is not understanding my things, whether it is a boss or a relationship or mother or whatever, or friends. The other person is not understanding me. No, they are just reflecting you. So this is a very deep concept, which I'm not sure that that's the scope of our conversation, but it's a deep concept that when you understand why that person is reflecting you, you will have much deeper understanding of yourself. They are just reflecting you. They are telling your own personality. If you can work on yourself, either they will change or they will disappear from your life. So that is the core thing. Okay, when you change, people around you change. Change can be like they change in their personality or they change altogether. That people itself will be replaced by new set of people. So that's how it will.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So Deeksha, if I were to ask you one career tip for people who are just starting out, how to be successful in whichever field they're getting into, whatever is the journey ahead. But one thing that will always help them be successful in whatever they're doing.
Okay, so I would say if just one tip I have to give you, then upgrade yourself just like you upgrade your phone, and clear your cache at all times, because we carry a lot of things, lot of burden on us. So whatever you are doing, if you are happy doing whatever you're doing, doesn't matter. Somebody who is really managing the waste and that person is happy doing that is actually sleeping very well at night, while the other person is making multi-millions and is always miserable and is ending up into sleepless nights. There's no point, right? The ultimate goal of human life is to be happy. It is to be having experiences, and that is why we have come here to experience. So for career point of view as well, I will say that you should upgrade yourself, be open to learn new things, and keep clearing your memory. Let go of everything which is holding you back. No need for holding any grudge with anybody. Maybe a boss was bad because he was having some issues at his home, which you have no idea about, right? So there's no point holding that. You keep moving on your path and spread that happiness to people around you. I would say that way we will have a better, happy society. So
absolutely.
Yeah, and I really feel that ego holds us. Ego is good. Ego is good for our personality, but it is a limited understanding of self. If you can expand yourself beyond what your job is, beyond what your 9 to 5 work is, then it's a beautiful life altogether. I mean, it's a different experience. People should try that, I would say. And that is where it will reduce a lot of pressure on everybody's shoulder. Everybody is pressurized. The boss is also under pressure and employee is also under pressure. Unnecessarily, release that, I would say. And then have a beautiful surrounding with people around you.
Thank you so much, Deeksha, for joining us today and sharing your journey with us. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So that was Miss Deeksha Awasthi sharing with us her journey and how she started with being an engineer and today is working as a mental health coach and mentor. What she said during the entire interview, and she kept emphasizing on it as well, is that you need to learn to let go and find what makes you happy in life. Because if you don't know your own why, you will never be able to succeed in life. It is very important and crucial that at every step of your life you keep understanding why you're doing what you're doing, and once you know that, there is nothing that will stop you from achieving success in your career. So I hope you got something out of this video. If you have any questions that you want to ask Deeksha, do write to us in comments below and we'll get back to you. Also, do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.